morning and welcome to the channel. It is a gorgeous day. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. We got the truck here with its big old wang hanging down and the rack in the back looking sick. Of course, we have the Volcano Orange McLaren as well as the Z06, which is home, and my mom's Volvo and a loaner truck. It's a full house. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this upload, I want to say that my American flag key tags are back in stock finally, so I use them for my quad key. But they are available at the first link down below. It's an American flag, all green as you can see, kind of like a combat style, and they always sell out very quick, so if you would like one, head over there now. I know that everyone wants to find out, Mike, what happened between you and the security guard at Motorama. And really, it's no big deal. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't filming. You know, I had been on my feet all weekend talking to people for 10, 11 hours out of the day. I didn't feel like filming everybody leaving, even though it is cool because all the cars start up at the same time and all. But luckily, my friend K Cars on YouTube got the footage. Now, this guy, I met him, I think the first time we met was at a call-out event last season, and then I met him at Motorama. We talked some more. So head over to his channel, check out the original video if you would like. Really nice guy, and he's trying to boost his subs, by the way. So if you like his content, don't be afraid to support him. But I'm going to show you the footage right now. As you can see, it's pretty wild. Like, I'm just driving up to exit the building and the guy runs up and does this weird like thing to my truck. Really bizarre, and everyone around in the situation didn't really understand what he was doing and what he was trying to accomplish. So let me tell the story, and in the interest of full disclosure, I'm going to start at the beginning. So it's 5 o'clock, right near about 5 o'clock, and a different security guard comes up to us, and he was like making his rounds, and he said, you know, is there any particular time you would like to leave? Do you want to leave with anybody? We said, not really. I just said, you know, I'd like to leave with my Corvette because my buddy Bobby was driving that home and I was going to drive the truck. And he said, sure, no problem. I didn't really care when we left, just so long as we could be together and I could follow him home and make sure everything was okay. So the show was about over. It was almost 5 o'clock when everyone can go. And I heard a few other vehicles start up, so I started my truck to go park it next to the camouflage car over there. And I was almost there. I was like 90% to the car, and the guy, not the first security guard, the second one, the old guy who ended up hitting my truck, came up to me and was like, you gotta shut it off, you're not allowed to be driving, which again, multiple people were. I don't know why he targeted me, but okay. I said, oh, just fine. I'm gonna park my truck here, turned it off, no issues. Literally about a minute later, I guess we were then officially allowed to start the vehicles. And I started up my truck and my Corvette, which people loved, by the way. Sounds fucking awesome, especially inside of a building. And we waited for our turn to go. You can kind of see it in the corner of the video, but the guy waves us on, or at least I thought he was waving us on. I mean, he knew full well that my truck and my Corvette were together, but apparently he was only waving on the Z06, which again makes no sense because he did know, for like the third time I've said this, he did know we were together. Not that it's even a big deal, but when he waved at the Corvette, I assumed he meant for us to go. So I start to drive in the truck, and I'm like halfway out the door. You can see clearly in the footage, I didn't cut anybody off. I didn't like jip in line. I didn't like floor it to get in front of people. I was just casually driving out. And then he runs up, like sprints up and does the weird thing to the door. What he said was, when he ran up, like doing the very angry pointing thing, which he did, he was all about that pointing, which is why I then leaned down and did the same thing to him just to kind of like make fun of him. He said something to the effect of like, you're a total asshole, like whatever. And I just said, you know, if you ever touch my truck again, and if you try it again, I'm gonna get out of this truck and I'm going to beat the ever-living shit out of you in front of 20,000 people. Should I have said that to an old man? No, but I was upset. You know, I checked the truck, there was no damage. I looked, you know, quickly over the side. I didn't see anything wrong with it. So I probably should have just let it go, but really, I mean, there was no excuse to act like that. Here we have a visitor. I'm really not in the habit of getting in fights with old men. Now, I was nervous about uploading this video because really, with that footage, you can see, I mean, regardless, his behavior was totally not justified, and he should not have done that. You should never do that, especially when you're supposed to be the professional security guard, you know, in charge of keeping people safe and whatnot. You definitely should not conduct yourself in that manner. But, you know, even with the footage, you could say, well, maybe I was being rude to him, maybe I said something wrong. But then I found a very interesting thread on Facebook, and I think you'll find I'm not the only one who had issues with that guy. So not only did a lot of people have issues with that guy in particular, but the security staff as a whole and the event staff as a whole. Really, I have to say, and this is not because of the security guard thing. I mean, so what? Who cares? The truck is fine. Everyone got a good laugh out of it. I get to make a video. I'm not saying this because of that, but really, the show this year was kind of disappointing. It wasn't disappointing because the people came out, and you know, I love meeting all of you, and the support you show me is amazing. And you know, I was happy to be there and glad to talk to people. But I also felt bad that people had to pay $45 to get in, which I did not know. I thought it was 20 bucks, but it was 45 and then 10 for parking, which is a huge money grab when you consider the auto show is like 10 bucks. The farm show is like 10 for parking, and that's it, no entrance fee. And a lot of other shows, like I would much rather host an open house or something like Andy did, or we could do one at In-Chain Designs and have people show up for free. And then if you want to spend money, you can buy a t-shirt or a key tag or whatever you want to buy, but you don't have to spend $55 to get in. It's a huge cost, and then you put that on top of the bad organization and the security staff, and I hesitate to even call them security because they're not. They're not security in the sense that they're keeping people safe, like I said. They're there solely for the fact to make money and make sure nobody gets in without paying. There's no bag check, there's no metal detector, so it's not security. It's making sure everyone has their ticket. Last year, which I feel like was more fun, but last year I paid to register my car. So not only do you have to pay to be a vendor, like In-Chain Designs, we paid to be a vendor. We paid, it's like 1,400 bucks to have a tent and a spot. So we paid that, but then I had to buy 5 vendor passes for my friends and my family. Like my mom loves to come hang out at the tent for the day. I had to pay 200 bucks for passes, which, you know, it's not a big deal, but there's no other event like that. You know, Corvettes of Carlisle, for example, or any of the other shows we do. There's also no ridiculous security at events like that. You know, the Corvette at Carlisle events are just always amazing. I've been gone for 6 years. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing. And yet here's all this negativity about Motorama after I had a bad experience. Back to the point, sorry I got sidetracked, but last year when I paid for my passes, they lost my info when I went to go. For some reason, Motorama, when you sign up, they don't give you a printable like ticket, you know, like anything else in 2018. When you get a plane ticket or whatever, you print it out and you have it. For them, for some reason, they either mail it to you, like snail mail with the post office, or you pick it up when you get there. So last year they lost mine, and this year I was prepared because I was like, you know what, I bet they pull the same shit. So I walk up, but they have no problem taking the 200 bucks out of my account. That goes like that, 200 bucks, gone. But when it actually comes to giving me the passes, well, that's like pulling teeth. So I walk up with Troy, and he can back me up on this, as can Shane. We walk up to the stand there, and the ladies are doing their organizing with the tickets, and I say, here's my name, I need 5 vendor passes, I paid for them, where's my stuff? And they said, oh, well, we can't find that name. We don't have any records of that. I was like, okay, well, here's the picture. I took a screenshot of the confirmation email this time. And they said, and then suddenly they were like, oh, okay, you are registered, which just pulled that out of their ass, I think, and said, but you accidentally signed up for the speed show, which is like the sprint cars downstairs, which I didn't. But whatever. So I walked to the speed show. It's like 300 yards. I don't care. I'm 24. I can walk, but still, it's just a hassle. I walked down there and they have the same story. Like, we can't find you. So the other people clearly made that up because they didn't know who I was down there either. I showed her the picture of the email, the confirmation, and she said, well, that's just a picture. Do you have the actual email? Now, keep in mind, the info on the picture is the same as the email. So what she is suggesting is that I created a fake email and then edited a web page and took a picture of it, and I was trying to swindle them. I'm going to all this trouble to swindle them out of 5 passes. Long story short, I found the email, I got my passes, but really, like, it's just such a fucking headache. By the way, the guy with the Facebook post, I blurred out his name and I blurred out all the names, but he actually got a response from one of the 2 guys that runs the show. 2 guys run it, Andy and Swish, and he got a response from Swish, or from the response was from Andy on behalf of Swish. Swish, I guess, does not have Facebook, so Andy said, here's what he said. I'm gonna type it out verbatim and put it in the thread. And you can see from his response, not exactly a professional character. To him, I say, not only is your organization unprofessional and your security team is unprofessional, but you yourself are incredibly unprofessional. What business owner, event planner, whatever, makes a response like that where he says you and all your friends are liars? It's a shame because the event itself is fun, and again, meeting people is great, but is it worth the headache and the money for all of you to spend 50 bucks to come and for me to spend, $1,800 to do it? I don't think so. I'm sure the minute he saw my name, I wouldn't be invited back anyway, so next year, I don't think I'm going. And to that I say, fuck you too. There you go. That is the story of the security guard at Motorama. It was fun. I want to get a thumbnail for the garage update video coming soon, so I'm going to, and I want to take advantage of the nice weather and the good lighting. So we are going to pull the Z06 out into the driveway, so we will get at least one American V8 startup today. Door bar here, as you can see, the cage is looking great. Look, you can't even tell. You can't even tell. It looks factory. I mean, you can tell, I guess, but the install of the cage is great. Thanks, RPM. And check out the 2-step button and the fuel system button. That is the answer to all your problems. Little behind the scenes of how a thumbnail is made, but we got everything out in the driveway. It looks pretty cool. That's a pretty cool vehicle lineup, I would say. All 3 of mine. Girlfriend's car's inside, loaner truck out front, 3 roadworthy vehicles, and of course the quad. Pretty stoked about it. Great colors too. Look at the blue, we got the camo, the volcano orange, and the Arctic. It's a decent little palette we got going. Oh, that's really about it. That's all I got for you. Sorry we didn't do a whole lot today action-wise, but the garage update is coming tomorrow. Always a fun type of video that people really like. So, hope that you enjoyed this upload. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, take care, and have a great day.